Hi. Okay, so this is AU Matter, YouTube AU Matter channel. Um, and on this video, I want to talk about at least 15 different career paths that are great for single parents. Um, the one obvious choice, I think, would be a childcare provider because you're already doing childcare. Why not also get paid to watch your kids and someone else's kids? Um, that's if that's your thing. Like some of us are good with our own kids, but maybe not so much with other people's kids. You got to know where, you got to know if that's something you can do. Um, the other thing is when you're selecting a career path, you want to think about how the timing is. Are you able to make your own time? You want to think about, is it flexible? You want to think about, will you be able to grow, will it grow with your children? Or will it be something that, you know, it will only work while your children are a certain age? For example, if you have little ones that aren't in school, childcare works great, right? Because your kids are home with you. And so you can do childcare. It works perfectly. But once your kids go to school, do you still want to be doing childcare? And you can do something temporary, but there's a lot of time that goes into setting up a child care center, perhaps even being able to accept state or government funds. So just think about that when you're investing in, setting up a daycare center or something of that nature. You can do private childcare also. Okay, so that same um, perspective needs to be applied to other career styles or career paths. So, another one would be a work from home phone interviewer or data entry for a bank. Um, Anything for a bank generally can be done from home except the teller. So, like identity theft tracking, all of those things where you can call into a bank and get answers, or they can track through a computer. All of those can be done on at home. So you can think about that. Data entry, um, teacher. Teacher is a great one, but I will say it's a big commitment, and your kids will eventually grow up, and you know, is that something you really enjoy? Will you, all the time and energy you have to invest in it, is that something you still want to do? Because yes, it will fit your hours. You and your children will have the same hours, and for the most part, it will be in alignment with your life as a single parent, sort of. Like, there's other things to consider, but for the most part, it will line up when it comes to making money. Now, when it comes to your doctor's appointments and things like that, that's a whole nother story. Of course, entrepreneurship, because you get to make your own hours, but that's a very broad heading because you can be an entrepreneur in many different areas. So that's something you could think about. Working for yourself, starting your own business, working from home, childcare, data entry, graphic designer, virtual assistant. Uh, let me just see. I said teacher already. You can do sales, real estate. So there are some career paths that are just better for a single parent than others. Okay, obviously, any high power kind of business thing where you have hard deadlines, you have a lot of travel, um, or you have a certain way that you have to show up, those are probably not going to be good for you because I'm going to tell you, there's nothing like getting all dressed up and then having to fight your kids off so you don't leave the house with fingerprints on you, or whatever they're eating for lunch on you, or where you just don't have time to kind of pull yourself together, like someone who's not getting ready and have getting children dressed and all that stuff. I'm sorry, but yeah, there's some moms that they manage to pull it off, and I'm sure it's to something the detriment of something else. But yes, it's going to be very hard for you to like have this pulled together, you know, prim and primp appearance. So you might not want to choose a career where you need to show up in a three-piece suit, shoes. Also, let's not even get into the money and stuff that requires, and you will need a lot of assistance. And I think for the most part, the what makes single parenthood so difficult is that you don't have other supports. If you have other supports, you're not necessarily just a single parent. Like if you have grandma, grandpa, auntie, uncles who are on deck and they're there all the time, like another parent would be, then theoretically you're not a single parent. You have the help of the village. But when you don't have the help of the village and the other parent is not there, you are a true single parent. And I'm talking from that perspective when I'm talking about not being able to, show up in a certain way, in a pulled together. I had a full night's sleep. I had time to stop at Starbucks. My clothes are, fresh out the cleaners. My shoes are, I haven't, they're practically new designer shoes. Like, you don't want to necessarily go into fields that will require you to show up like that, because that's going to be very stressful. So I'm talking from that perspective. What else can I throw in there? Don't forget, depending on how many children you still have your doctor appointments, you still have teachers meetings, you still have, just errands and stuff that you're going to have to do probably on a weekly basis. And so you want to choose a job that will allow you to do those things without a lot of stress, okay? And so the jobs that I mentioned kind of fall in those categories a little bit. Data entry, telephone, customer service, interviews, working from home, entrepreneurship where you make your own hours. That could be web design, that could be anything computer related you can do from home. Even medical coding and billing, although a lot of people have said that it could be stressful when you first start out, and you do need a little bit of time in before you can work from home. But if you have a knack for medical terminology and that's your thing, that might be a field you want to go into. Very good pay. You can there's ways you can work from home, or you can set your own hours. There's some, depending on how you work. Like if you work for a doctor's office versus a hospital, obviously those dynamics change, but it's there. It's within that field. In any field that would allow you those kind of hours. Okay, so that's it for this vlog, where I'm just talking about careers that would be good for single parents. You do need a way to earn your money in a very low stress or low pressure way, because you have so many pressures on you. You need to figure that out. If you can figure out the provisions part, because that's the thing. A lot of people will not talk about it, but the thing with single parenthood is a compound issue. It's money, and it's money, and then it's not having other viable supports in place. So if you can figure out a way to create a good income around it, a good income in a way that would allow you to not need as much support, then you have eliminated probably 65% of the problem of being a single parent. There's other things that, but 65% of it is just money and support. Other being able to call on other people. You can't be in 5 places at one time. So if you can eliminate those things through your career choice, then you have done yourself a great favor. A great favor. So I'm going to end it with that. Don't forget, you guys, I am reading The Scent Keeper. This is my next book review. I'll be glad to tell you guys about that. I will do a little video on that today, just on how far I've gotten. I don't even think I'm out of chapter. I think I'm just in chapter 1. I don't read very fast, and I'll talk about that on my next reading vlog. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Please subscribe, like, and comment.